So this is the Traction Online Racing Split 1, I can nearly call them tiers, but Split 1 Spanish Grand Prix. I am LCR Apex. And alongside me, because I did Bahrain, alongside me tonight is 199.
G'day.
Oh. We are both Split 2 racers, and we are also both stewards, so that'll make this interesting. Oh yeah, boy. All those instances that... No, we won't have any instances. Apparently, from word from those in the garages, it's looking like a full wet race.
Ooh.
But we're just getting started with qualifying now, and we are yet to see somebody exit the pit. I want to say this VRT Rusters. He's the only one who's getting a camera angle change. Rusters, Amaze. A bunch of cars get heading out now. Jigglypuff, Pepsi. So Rusters is the front of the pack, followed closely by Amaze. Then Jigglypuff, TOR Pepsi. I might have missed someone, but everybody's heading out basically. I don't. See, so I've not really been following this split, I must admit, very diligently, but I know there was a bunch of fast drivers all over the place. Last Sunday, LCR, we had a race at Spain, and Leopard, without meaning to exaggerate, walked from the start to the finish, and that was also a wet affair. He demolished the race, so if I had to put my money on somebody, it would be TOR Leopard, but there's a lot of fast drivers here and a lot of championship contenders. Obviously, the further you get into the season, the more heated it's going to get, so it could be fireworks, especially, you know, full wets. Look forward to it. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Dominator is in the Mercedes. I believe that's what he races in Split 2 as well, isn't it? Yeah, but just started going into turn 1. It'd be interesting to see if anybody's on wet setup right now, because obviously Park Permit rules means that whatever setup you leave the garage with at the beginning of qualifying, that's the setup you have to use for the entirety of the race. So we'll obviously try to get a foot up and go straight on the wet setup, or who's going to try and like get a couple extra cheeky qualifying positions with the dry setup, as I believe I can't see that quite is. Moving out of the way for Rusters flying around. A nice pink helmet. Looks steady, yeah. Jalisimo, yeah. I'm surprised that anybody would even want to go on the
Yeah.
because you might as well just take the setups off, lump like 5 laps of fuel in there, and just drive for a while, because you don't have any tires to save. Plenty of time. 12 minutes obviously isn't as
Smash out 2 soft
you know, spacious as it was in previous seasons. Yeah, but 2 soft runs, yeah, easily. Don't have to worry about your tires either. So Rusters just crosses the line. I would assume I'm getting a bit of lag.
19.8. And ESR Amazed 119.5. Russ will be on lean now. He's got half a lap of fuel. 0.3. Is not that. White water.
So apologies there.
White water.
Alright, I had a bit of a lag spike, but a few laps coming in. Jordan Gibbs, who is officially titling sponsoring this Grand Prix, set at 119.2, but only just beaten by Sims, so 119.257.
Who is on a lap? Apex has just left the party. Hello, hello. And Scott has binned it. Out for, what is that, 27? Yeah, Scott W28. So you are Leopard with a sweaty 18.5. Really popular. No one's kidding. I understand. Oh. What's that? Out of turn 3?
Getting game advice these days.
Oh, have you left the lobby?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Please don't tell me it's invite only. Invite party the game.
There we go, thank you. Okay.
Pretty sure.
I'm all the way back in. Sorry about that.
Angelissimo has binned it out of turn 3.
Let's have a look, see then.
Everyone else is pretty much in the pits. I don't know about Leopard yet.
Okay, I'm back. Angelissimo retired from the session. Scott W retired from the session. Right, okay, so Leopard's leading 18.588. Amazed. 3 tenths behind him. I'm literally just catching up. So Leopard is, interestingly enough, about 7 tons ahead of his teammate. So there's a big gap between first and third, but it's a nice sensible one between first and second. So all to play for, really.
Leopard's quick, yeah, but I think he has a history of not getting the best of starts at the grid.
No. Leopard's still very much wanted by his stars on the grid, so that'd be something to watch out for.
Yeah, so Sims or Amaze could be leading into turn 1.
Yeah, but I mean, we got 3 minutes left of qualifying, still plenty of left to go.
Yeah.
About a couple laps each, apart from, of course, Scott and Angelissimo, but we hope to make a bit of a dent in the race.
Don't give them a flying lap.
Just started from that.
Yeah.
Scott is also on lap. Scott has just started sector 3. I believe this is in a lap he's currently on. I'll keep an eye on him. Once again, another driver with a pink helmet. Right, because of it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so a lot of drivers decided to participate and deck out some pink helmets.
Yeah, I would for Split too, yeah, but it doesn't match my work.
Scarf into the pits then, so yeah, it's just Gibbs who's currently on the lap right now. There is a yellow flag in sector 1, and I believe I can't find where that flag was. It's gone now, but there was a yellow flag. Both the Force Indias have come out at exactly the same time. Sims is heading Leopard, they've just both come out of the pits. I believe they're leading constructors as well, so you probably want to not be next to each other to get the best kind of starts. I wouldn't be surprised if Leopard dropped off a little bit and he's doing such a thing.
Do you want to get a warning on that lap? Or an invalid? Yep, he's invalidated.
He must have done.
Yep.
Cameron is indeed streaming. Oh, he's coming on another lap, yeah.
Finishing his Dominator.
Jordan was positive in his first sector, but his middle sector was down by 1.6 seconds, so he probably cut the corner in like either sector 1 or sector 2.
Looks like turn 7 or turn 7, 8 or 9.
Sector 2 or 3, there was somebody waiting for a car to go by. That makes sense. Leopard is going very slow through sector 3, trying to warm up its lap.
Ooh, an 18.
Dominator goes 1:18.575. Wow. 13 hundredths of a second slower than Leopard, and Maze retired. What's happened? Either he's retired on purpose, or he paused the game, he gave up. So he's happy with maybe third, hopefully third. There's about 20 seconds left in the session. Leopard has just started his lap. Sims is already flying. Gibbs has just finished his lap. He's going very slow across the line, so probably fifth is the best he can get. Gibbs is retired.
Oh, he's lost his right front.
Gibbs retired by hitting a wall. That's front wing going everywhere.
What is it? Turn 1. Do that.
Sims slightly went off the track there and weaved across the track. Either he lost grip a little bit, or he invalidated. Yep, he invalidated his lap. He's currently weaving across the track. He's done. Fourth best for Sims. How's he gonna get? And Leopard is
P7.
Chase Cam Man.
This is just stopped. He's got a ghost.
Pepsi likes it here, but since he's had to go to medium traction control, he's not been that much of a fan. But hopefully, he should bring it back a little bit in the race.
Still going. You could get pole here. Still going.
So all Leopard has to find is 13 hundredths of a second. One would assume it's possible. Leopard can pull anything out of his hat. And what time is it?
Oh my god.
A 1:18.290. 3/10. We thought, well, it was like 100th between the two of them, but then Leopard just goes, yeah, thank you very much, I'll just have that, thank you very much. 3/10. But, as we mentioned, that could be all negated on his start.
Yeah. I know Dominator has good race pace.
So Mansell is hits, but otherwise that is qualifying done. So yeah, rate it is Leopard on pole position, Dominator in second, who's just a visiting driver. ESR Amazing third, fourth is Sims, fifth is Jordan Gibbs, with Ferrari, Jigglypuffs sixth, seventh is Leopard Pepsi, eighth is Ruster, ninth Troll, 10th Van der Stark, 11th Mansell, 12th is Scarf, 13th is Scott W, and 14th in the back is Angelisa. Cars are into gear. 3, 4, 5. Here we go then. Spanish Grand Prix is underway, and it's fairly sensible start from Leopard, but he has lots of position to Dominator. Sims does move up a couple of positions, and a bunch of positions changing on the board. A lot of spray. There's going to be very blind turning into turn 1, but Dominator leads. Sims is just on the inside, a bit of contact, but there is a Toro Rosso sneaking in. That is ESR Amaze up to second. Just wrestling himself in, but Leopard's kind of had a bit of a... He hasn't had the worst start ever, but he's not where he wants to be. He's all the way down to third. Maze got the jump on him. What a start from Amaze. Sims is looking feisty on Leopard as well. Pepsi is making a move outside the Jordan Gibbs. Jigglypuff is going up ahead of Trolled. Scott W is already in the points. He's starting way near the back, but he's already in the points. Jigglypuff and Jordan Gibbs. Jordan Gibbs is just losing positions right now. Sims gets past Leopard as well. Action all the way up down the grid.
Got it, backs out. Pretty clean start.
Buster has gone ahead of Trolled just before the chicane coming up, and that is like, you can't say it's boring. You can't say that it's a foregone conclusion. Van der Stark, Scott's lost a couple positions. He's down to 13th, I believe. That is, he has lost a few positions. He might not be quite so happy about that. Scarce wrestles the way through in the entry of turn 3. It's all there. There's a lot of fighting happening for the non-points positions. The contact. It's difficult to see through the spray, really.
Yeah. Might let it drift.
It's in top 5 right now. Dominator, ESR Amaze, Sims, heading Leopard also in the Force India, Pepsi and Jigglypuff. There's still battles going on near the bottom of the grid. Scarf moves up into the points position, just going past Van der Stark.
Rust's got damage.
Rust just looked like he just made contact with Gibbs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how those two are fighting. They're still fighting way at the back of the grid. Still going side by side through turn 3 between Gibbs and Rusters. There's still side by side going all the way through turn 4, but Rusters kind of taking a bit of a cheeky dive bomb. Not really anything wrong with that because they didn't really make that much contact, but he keeps the tight line. You would think Jordan Gibbs might try back on this corner. Leopard has gone past the head of Sims while we're watching this. So he must have tried doing a switchback because that was a very late move indeed based on where they were in the field compared to where we were watching. He might have done a switchback at turn 4. Unfortunately, can't exactly say, but impressive nonetheless. Leopard getting past Sims, especially Brave doing that in the wet to your own teammate. You kind of be costing yourself points. And there's a yellow flag in sector 2. Angelissimo, and I believe that is Mansell. That is Haas teammates having contact.
Got damage right front.
Yep. Damage for Angelissimo. Is there any damage for Mansell as well? We completely missed that. But I imagine that is being recorded, so we will see what that is later. But again, Dominic comes across the line. That is a very close top 3 as well. Maze is looking right up his ass. He's looking like he really wants to get that position. He is closing in by every 100. Like by 100 every meter. In fact, he might even go for the dive bomb here. But he thought twice, and well, that's all it takes really. He didn't bother. Smart move. There's a long way to go. I keep saying it, but it is true. 33 laps is a long way to go in these races. So playing it smart, playing it slow. Imagine Amaze is thinking to himself, in fact, I'll get him when he's looking a bit weak, and it looks like that is happening right now. Looking at the inside of turn 4. Nope.
Leopard wants a bit of that as well.
Leopard is looking into it. He's going to be feeling it very feisty in 3rd position, watching a battle ahead of him. He picks the right moment. He could sweep both of them at the same time. Either here. Angelissimo has just mercifully come back out of the pits. Still the wets. I'm not sure what the weather forecast is exactly. Leopard is making a move, but it's still side by side, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Ruster's just got ahead of Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is all over the place. In fact, Jigglypuff just went off the grass a little bit and nearly had Jordan Gibbs drive straight into the back of him. They are all over the place.
Migrating hose.
Near the top of the field. Somebody is disconnected. Sims.
Pepsi.
Oh! Pepsi has less attention. Oh, okay, that was a bit of lag. I thought I saw a car slide right off the road, but it looks completely fine. Sims and Leopards are fighting. Dominic has gone down position. I'm not sure if my HUD is glitching right now. Yes, it is. The host transfer is taking place. Dominator is Leopard has gotten ahead of Sims. 1.6, so he's underfueled his car that much. I'm imagining he's in lean mixture then.
No, he's back in lean. In the wet.
So he has indeed, yep. So he's decided to reduce the number of fuel he has in his car. Rusters and Jigglypuff are still battling. Goes to the light screen, I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Pepsi is losing positions, and he's kind of getting away on the battle that's going on between Jigglypuff and Rusters. Pepsi will probably be foaming at the mouth right now trying to get back in the game. Can I send him an invite? No, I cannot. So somebody else on the grid is going to probably have to try and... What's just the right time to send an invite, but nobody's going to want to have any give here. There's still all to play for. Everybody's still driving close.
Angles that. There we go.
Scarf is now ahead of Pepsi. The Dominator is now driving off. The Maze is dropped back by to 1.4 seconds. Still kind of gaining in the 3rd sector. Leopard and Sims are both within a second of a Maze, so it's very close between those 3. Jigglypuff and Rusters are just having the battle of the century. You would think they were in 1st place. How much they are fighting for, but it's just 10 points. So very impressive fight for the pair. .7 the gap now in front. Leopard is kind of dropping back ever so slightly from Amaze. Scott is now in the points, in 10th place. Pepsi's Ghost is kind of just chilling around the track. It's a shame to see. He's worked very hard to organise the league, but maybe hopefully he can get back in the lobby. You know, it's not over yet, but at the very least he can live with the thought of that. Well, we're having a very close race, a really good battle with everybody all the way down through. Dominator already at 2.3 seconds. In fact, it looks to be surprising if Leopard even tries to move down here, because Amaze seems to be really struggling in conditions. He might have put on a dry setup. So now Leopard's actually going to go up the inside, breaking into the, well, not really that much of a competition really. He's just kind of, it's just a formality at this point. Leopard is ahead of Amaze. Bit of a cheeky, bit close between the two of them, but I mean, again, nothing really wrong there. Leopard is ahead and up to P2. And just Sims will be looking at as well. On a corner, Dominator sets fastest lap of a 1:36.482. Jigglypuff is eyeing up Rusters. A second separates 5th to 7th position. Jordan Gibbs also sets fastest lap, and you know what that tells me? That tells me that the track is drying. I'm not sure if it's drying so quickly, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point somebody decided to go on into it. So I could be wrong.
No penalties yet.
But we'll see. No penalties. Are there any warnings?
Pretty much almost every driver has at least one warning.
Can you? Definitely calming down a little bit now. Dominator is 1.5 seconds ahead of Leopard. Leopard is gaining. He is on Rich though, but at some point he's got to watch his fuel. As I say, he's on Rich, he's gone down to lean. ESR Amazed is a second, just kind of hanging on to Leopard, barely within the... Pepsi's joined back in the game, he's going to find himself in 13th. Amazed is kind of hanging on to Leopard. He's kind of settling down at the front. Can't say the same for 5th position though. Jigglypuff is still within 6/10 of Rusters, and Jordan Gibbs is within 6/10 of Jigglypuff. And Scarf is coming on for the ride as well, so I think Rusters is going a bit too slow. A bit of contact, I'm not sure if there's any damage.
Yeah,
given that he's not pitting, I think it is damage.
Minor damage though.
There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I'm not sure what that is for. It doesn't look like there's any issue, but it might be because of the wing damage. Not sure. None of the cars look like they're struggling, so shall see. Pepsi is officially joined back in the game. His car has turned opaque again, but unfortunately for him, it's all the way down in the lonely position of P13.
Nice.
Welcome to my world, Pepsi.
Ooh.
And Jigglypuff just touching Rusters' tire. I'm not sure if that will give him any damage, but Rusters kind of breaks in the middle of the corner, which means that Jigglypuff kind of hits the back of him. Half turn, Jigglypuff thinks, I've had enough of it. Right up the inside. Might have slightly touched, but I don't think there was really much wrong with that. If there was, then we'll see about it. Rusters is still fighting though, and he keeps the position. But Jigglypuff wanted that. Bit of throwing off, that's not gonna be very helpful at all either. Jordan Gibbs is actually going up the inside of Jigglypuff. Just slight contact, but that's because of the difficult braking. He pushes Jigglypuff out nice and wide enough for Scarf to look on it, up the outside, and even tries getting into the party. That is just kind of caused a giant cataclysm of overtakes here. Jigglypuff's down to 7th. His attempt on Rusters is, as you said, is just completely costing him.
Yeah, he's pitting.
And mercifully, he goes into the pits, but that is going to open up opportunities to get trolled. Jordan Gibbs slightly goes on the track, maybe not that much, but Scott's now up to 7th. Get trolled is right there as well, and so it's Scott, so it's unfortunate for Jigglypuff.
Leopard is
But
touching
maybe
Dominator
he's a
though.
bit too aggressive on this instance. He is indeed, actually, through all that excitement, he's winning a second, and that is actually a really impressive way of catching up. I think, looking through everybody, Leopard is the only person who has underfueled their car. Everybody is overfueled it.
Still full lap. We'll probably get under.
So he's in the lead now. I wouldn't be surprised if... So, I'm watching his fuel mix, and he keeps... Every time he hits a straight, he flicks up to rich just for long enough to get that little bit of acceleration boost. But then when he goes through a corner, he kind of helps his traction by going in lean. However, he's staying in rich right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be looking for a move. He's gaining so quickly, about 6/10 in that sector alone, but it's not going to be enough. So that is the closest battle we've got right now after Jigglypuff just trying a little bit too hard in 5th position. Currently, the closest two cars on the track are Leopard and Dominator, just 4/10 between them. Scarf is only 4/10 behind Jordan Gibbs as well. But the battle is here right now with Leopard and Dominator, just coming through the final corner. But Dominator's pulled out a gap in that final sector. Back to a second as well. So Leopard is stronger in sectors 1 and 2, but not quite in sector 3. So that will be interesting to see when he might try to move. Jigglypuff is also on the wets, I should mention, because he pitted. Could have gone on the inters, but it could be a full wet race all the way through. Again, we don't have any information on but we don't have any information regarding weather from here. Jigglypuff pits again.
He said he's not willing to auto change it.
He may have done.
Yeah, they're pulling it off.
And they are now changing his front wing. So disaster strike. He's taking a risk, which I guess, well, I guess that absolutely makes sense. If he has to come in to get his front wing changed, which was imperative, he might as well take a chance, go on the inters. If it's going to dry up out, it will benefit him.
Gonna have to watch his pace because he's on the inters.
Rusters looks to have disconnected as well. Jordan Gibbs has just driven through. No, Rusters is paused. Wonder if that's a controller disconnection or something. He is completely ghost. He's lost his very impressive 5th position to Gibbs and Scarf. And he's back. So, I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but either he's controller disconnected or not exactly sure what, but he's lost his position and the battle for 5th is now back on with Jordan Gibbs heading at Scarf. Rusters ahead of Troll. And Leopard is also very close to Dominator indeed, just 3/10. Going into the first corner, I'm not sure, you might want to look at this, I'm not sure if you might try move at the end of sector 1, because a lot of people are going to try moves up here. Troll gets into the pits as well, I should mention. I'm not sure if he might be going on to the inters. But Leopard does not try move into turn 4.
I was Leopard, I just stick on
Troll
the and wait for a
goes
mistake.
on the inters. He also has a front wing change, but he goes on the inters. So certain drivers deciding to favour the inters. Mansell's a lap down. I'm not exactly sure how he got that far down. I'm not really sure I've seen any drama with him at all this race, but we'll see. Pepsi is near Mansell. In fact, he's trying to lap him. Oh wait, no, Mansell's not a lap down. Mansell is battling Pepsi for 10th. Mansell's on the inside of turn 5, but Pepsi's just trying to hang around on the outside. They've been side by side since around about turn 4, in fact. So Mansell just on ice cream for some reason was a lap down, but now he's battling with Pepsi for the final points paying position, 10th place. Rusters gets ahead of Scarf. Rusters and Scarf have gone off. Jordan Gibbs, what is the standings right now? Is Gibbs ahead of Scarf, ahead of Rusters. I'm not exactly sure what happened between the two of those two, but they are just completely gone off track and into the clutches of Scott W, who started the race in 13th and is currently running 8th.
Leopard's still on the back of
and he's sizing up Rusters. In fact, he's going to have Rusters because Rusters pits. Rusters probably has front wing damage. In fact, I'd probably wager in the fact that he does. Yep, he had front wing damage. He's changing his front wing and changing to inters. So from the looks of things, People are deciding if I've got front wing damage, I'll go on it. But
Ooh,
for
that's
everybody
a
who
bit
is fortunate enough not to have
Oh,
front wing
look,
damage,
Pepsi's
they
out.
will not go into the pits. Pepsi is out. In fact, I think he had a contact with Mansell from the looks of things.
That was massive
Seemed
lag.
all over the place on the main straight. There was massive lag there, so I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Mansell's just teleporting.
But it was just getting a bit too defensive. Still more lag going on. But Pepsi is definitely gone. Lag or no, he is out.
Mansell's just shifting like left and right. All of a sudden he's inside him. And Pepsi's just in the wall.
We will definitely hear from that. I can guarantee you that.
Like the root chance. Bit of expletives there, probably. Leopard's left the session.
So Dominator, Leopard's Leopard left the session. Dominator's last session. Have we disconnected? No. Dominator left, and Leopard is in the lead. That is one way to get the lead of the race. Dominator is probably going to be very disappointed right now. Leading the race pretty handily ahead of Leopard, but just connection.
I'm pretty sure we lagged out because everyone's leaving.
It's kind of everybody's fine for me. You might have lagged out, I'm not sure. The only person who is currently still in is Hello Pepsi. The only person currently, yeah, everybody's still in the race. I've signed out. Pepsi is laughing maniacally. Hello Pepsi, do you want an interview by chance?
I will.
I need an invite as well. Oh wait, I think I actually might have the one you sent me earlier. No, I don't. Yeah, I need an invite. What happened, Pepsi?
I just saw Mansell go everywhere just then.
So the race has kind of been in a bit of disarray in regards to connections and things like that. And I can't imagine you're very happy considering that you disconnected and then the host changed, and then we've kind of had a slew of issues since then. Not least of which your collision with Warden.
Mansell's hosting.
With who?
With Mansell, yeah, not Warden.
Mansell,
sorry.
yeah. So on the back straight, Mansell just disappeared for about 5 seconds. I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to pop out of nowhere, and next thing you know, his car was on top of me, and both wheels have just fallen off.
Oh well. Yeah, the lag spike. It would have been affected the whole lobby because we saw the lag spike as well. We were just going through everybody, lag spike, and then you were gone.
I think the top 5 were putting away.
Yep.
And then I lagged out, and then yeah. So another awesome race for me.
Dominator's still out.
Can I get
issues? I can see.
That's a shame, Pepsi. I was saying in the game, it was a shame you disconnected the first time around, and obviously, just the lag not helping. It's kind of annoying because like you, it was a lag caused incident, but you disconnected in the first place.
Was the host.
Yeah.
Oh, or whether it was lag on his end.
So he had a red bar for me, video clip of it. Anyway.
Did you record it?
Yes.
Heard on stream as well.
Can I get a game? Can I get a game?
Well, Dominator's lost it.
I need a game invite too.
Oh, sorry. What, are you in here, Warden, yeah?
Yeah.
Twitch still working, yeah?
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Oh,
I might as well stay on the
Amaze
commentary box
for the
for a
wall. He's just lost it. No front wing.
Amaze just lost it.
Yeah, the last corner.
Is he still in the race?
Yeah, but he's got no front wing. He's gonna do a whole lap without it.
So he's got to do a whole lap to replace his wing. Right.
Decent.
And it started
Okay.
pretty quick. aggressive as
That was a very clean start, but there was a lot of battle
It was a very
going
clean
around there. There was
lap and a half. It was in line. It was really good.
Yeah.
Until I think it was Mansell or something.
a lot of people are now pitting, by the way. Leopard has gone onto inters, Scarth is on inters, Trolled, Dominator is also on inters. That's everybody who's pretty much just lapped. So now is the crossover point. It's currently leading the race, 15-point gap to Jordan Gibbs, who I should remind you is the title sponsor of this Grand Prix. Shout out to Jordan Gibbs. aka Billy Wiz.
legend.
Currently in the lead of the race. Jordan Gibbs in second. Leopard is already in third. In fact, he's already a second behind Jordan Gibbs. Well, that's 2 seconds. Round about there. So still getting a bit of lag on my timing screen, but the game seems stable enough.
Sims is in.
Sims, who's just entered the pits. Yep, thank you very much. You reckon Jordan will enter now? No, he does not. Jordan decides, I want to lead a lap, so he's going to continue the race. That will make it a little bit messy for Leopard, but I imagine he is flying right now. Maze is in. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's because Dominator's gone off. No, he hasn't. He's just waiting for the classify. Not all my drama.
Yeah, I will say Dominator's points do not count, so everyone who's actually finishing will get a point.
What a
So Dominator's
oh, he's
just
in
not
the wall. What a save.
Wait, who was that?
Dominator.
Dominator.
Maze is in the pits as well. He just pitted.
Get disqualified.
Dominator's in the wall. He's roundabout backwards, but he's probably going to get disqualified.
Good.
No, he turned himself around. He's still going.
Go back for a while. It looks like he's going to disqualified.
So what happened to Scott W? Because he was running so well. Then next thing I know, he's retired.
Chris leaving and stuff.
Yeah, that's done. It's a shame for him. I said previously that he started way down in the back, but he's climbed himself into a very generous points-paying position. Leopard is right behind the Ferrari of Jordan Gibbs. Just getting ever so much slightly closer, but the dirt, yeah, maybe a bit too much, slight oversteer, but really helped him hit the chicane.
Jordan
Apex.
pit.
Will Jordan pit? Jordan's probably seeing that pink car come up behind him and thinking to himself, I'm going to pit soon. Dominator retires from the session. He actually hit the wall on the way into the pit, so that is kind of not the best way to go. Trying to prepare your front wing to drive a little easier. Jordan is indeed into the pit, so Leopard once again resumes the lead of the race. And Sims takes second, so it looks like a Force India 1-2.
Green.
Hashtag the dream. It is a lot of drivers are wearing pink helmets in cancer awareness, and well, we got pink cars in 1-2. What more could you want? Mansell pits. That puts Scarth in third place, and because he's on inters, he could well finish there. In fact, actually, no, he's going to be about between Scarth and Gibbs, and that's what it's been like all race. Van der Stark continues, even though he is on the wets. So Van der Stark is the only person on the wets right now. Mansell has to change his front wing. Couple hairy moments from Mansell today, but I'm assuming he'd rather just finish and get some points at this point. Not really much else to report. Amaze is, I think Amaze is the car who's currently close to another 1.5 seconds to get trolled. Yeah, 10 drivers still remaining, 14 stars, 10 drivers left. Currently it goes Leopard, Sims, Jordan Gibbs, Scarth, Get Trolled, are Amazed, Van der Stark, X-Roll Mansell, Jigglypuff, Angelissimo, and the retired cars in order of retirement: Pepsi, Rusters, Scott W, and Dominator.
Look close at the Force India. They have the breast awareness thing as well on the nose.
They do indeed. Good eye.
over the maze.
So I find it interesting that Van der Stark has decided to keep on his full wets. He's been on this for about a couple laps longer than everybody else. I'm not sure where he'd probably end up in the grand scheme of things. In fact, I don't know why I'm guessing. I can actually look. Apparently, if he pits right now, he will end up in 9th. So
just lagged.
you'd question whether or not he will be able to do that. Jigglypuff has a fast lap of 1:34.798.
Mazed is almost
Probably not good news
behind.
for Van der Stark. Probably not good news for Van der Stark, considering that Jigglypuff is the next car right behind him.
Let's check penalties. Leopard has no warnings. It's Maestro approved. Sims has 2. Jordan's got 2. Scarf's got 1. Get Troll's got 3 warnings, but no penalty. Must be a collision. ESR Maze, no warnings. Van der Stark, no warnings. XRL Mansell, 2 warnings. Jigglypuff, 3 warnings, no penalty. Angelissimo, 2 warnings. And the rest DNF'd. See Pepsi's brakes there on the side.
Pepsi's brakes are breaking. So the gap right now between ESR Maze and Troll is 1.2 seconds. It's around about leveling out. But he's slightly getting closer, I'd say, in the long run. In fact, actually he's getting a lot closer. In fact, Troll looks like he's struggling a little bit. It's currently 6/10 the gap between the pair of them.
This, by the way, could be the third 1-2 for Force India this season out of 5 races.
3 this season. So I don't suppose you could give us a rundown of the championship, Pepsi, because I'm not actually on top of that.
I can. So at the moment, Sims is winning on 76 points, with Leopard in second with 72 points. Then it's me, Pepsi, with 65, but I will not score any points today. Jordan Gibbs is fourth with 41, and then it's a massive gap down to 5th, and he's not even racing. That is Kushmania on 18. Notable, Scarf is actually in 6th with 18 as well, and with his 4th place, that will jump him right up into the top 5. And this will be, can't pronounce his name, Apex, you were much better at it, but the guy in 10th.
Angelissimo? Yep.
He will get his first point of the season.
That's right.
He doesn't bother it.
That's
And
it.
actually, so will Amaze.
Angelissimo. So will Amaze. So Angelissimo will not want to bottle this. Amaze has probably not had the season he's quite wanted.
He might be getting the first points of the season.
Might be getting his first points though. Currently in 6th. Currently chasing down Get Troll. He's currently running for 8 points. We could get more for Troll. So what was the points gap between Sims and Leopard?
It is 4 points, so Leopard will take the lead of the championship.
4 points. So if
3 points.
as it stands right now, as it stands right now, Leopard will be 3 points ahead of the championship. But that's if they finish in their sixth position.
Yeah.
Has he gone past Julia?
And Jordan
Also-
Gibbs is getting 15 points.
Yes, he has.
So he will have 56, so he will only be 9 points behind me if he stays where he is.
That's right then.
It's very
So-
interesting between the 2 Force India drivers and the 2 Ferrari drivers. Very, very competitive teammates.
Leopard gets a quickest lap, 1:34.744. Jordan Gibbs is currently running in 3rd, who's bringing the... I'm remiss to say we're doing the party, Pepsi, bringing only 0.7 for Ferrari, but there's a good point, so at the very least, it's a positive.
It is.
Amazed is currently right on the arse of Trolled, but he kind of seems to lose his footing a little bit coming out of the final chicane and through the final corner. So the gap stays at 7/10. So I imagine Amazed is going to be just fiddling around with that DRS button, hoping it will work. So for now, he's currently stuck in 6th. 13 laps left to
Amazing
go.
to have some very bad luck in this F1 2017 game at the moment in all leagues. So they're just
All of his
wanting to
leagues.
bring it home as Troll to lose the back end there a bit.
So further down the field, we've actually got Jigglypuff moving slightly closer to Mansell. And Amazed, actually, let's turn our attention back on that, because he's looking really feisty going into turn 5. He'll want to be right there with Troll. As soon as Troll messes up for a fraction of a second, Amazed is probably going to be right on the inside. He's a very competitive driver. Very unlucky as well. He really wants to get into that position. I imagine he's probably biding his time. He's currently in standard fuel, so he's not really pushing. Unlike TOR Split, who is also still setting fastest laps, despite being on lean. Mansell and Jigglypuff are right behind Vanderstock, who is still on the wets. In fact, Mansell might be going into a move entering into the 3rd section. In fact, he probably did a move without even trying to do a move. He's up on the inside. He just kind of, he broke for it. He broke for the corner as normal, and Vanderstock kind of went a bit deep, so then side by side, going up the hill. Wide right turn, and Jigglypuff is looking a little bit feisty in there as well. He's just right behind. He's got the move done, but it's still not done for Vanderstock, who Jigglypuff gets around the outside just before the chicane. Nip and tuck stuff. A lesser man might have just decided, no, I'll wait until the main straight, but nope, Jigglypuff was, I see the door there, I'm going to walk straight through the door. And Vanderstock pits very sensibly, but unfortunately, because he didn't pit sooner, he will drop down to 10th.
Maze is looking like he's pushing.
So Maze is still trying to catch Troll. It's still a battle between those two. Mansell and Jigglypuff. Mansell's position keeps glitching on my board, which is concerning considering toast. So if Troll's Sauber teammate Smith is watching this, Mo, you might want to look away, because Troll just got overtaken by ESR and Maze. Troll just got a little bit catching out that corner, but he's trying to position back. Both are still in standard revs, but ESR and Maze just kind of whistled past the position. And Troll is kind of just ever since tapped the grass in that corner. He could have spun it, but he luckily did not. I would be surprised if Troll tried to get that position back, but he's actually currently just running lean. He's instead probably just trying to stick behind Maze for a second, just a little bit, save some fuel up, and then I wouldn't be surprised if he tried flicking it in rich down the straight. No, but he does put it in standard. Amazed passed Troll, and as I said, Amazed was just sitting behind Troll, waiting for a mistake to happen. Mistake happened. Amazed is ahead. So the podium right now sits with Leopard heading Sims, heading Jordan Gibbs. Earlier we decided to predict who was on the podium, and I believe we said Leopard, Sims, and Dominator. Dominator's out of this race, so Jordan Gibbs has kind of picked up the slack. 2 of the 3. We're doing well enough. Leopard sets a 134 flat. Pepsi, you have seen the weather forecast. Is this rain going to stop, or is this as light as it's going to get?
No, it was a full wet race from wets to intermediates.
Okay then.
No dry.
So if anybody pits again, that will be to go on fresh inters. I'm not sure if anybody will. 10 laps left. Inters may or may not make it. But obviously it's test to see how everybody's tyre wear is. Everybody's on inters now. Vanderstock, then 10th is also on inters.
Troll's pitted.
Get trolled as I say that, also pit. See what tyres goes on. I wouldn't be surprised if it might be a front wing change. I'm not sure what position he's forecast to come back out in. At the very least, he's at the end of the pit lane. No front wing change, purely a tyre change. Wouldn't be surprised if he knocked out a fastest lap or 2 or 5. Mansell just gets ahead, and he's going to probably slot him somewhere between Jigglypuff and Angelissimo. He just about does. Yep, Angelissimo still remains in 9th, but Jigglypuff moves up to 7th, and Mansell moved up to 6th.
Will others pit though?
I put it
Their tyres. Will they go to the end?
Yes, that's correct. First couple warnings then, by the way. Troll has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, as has Jigglypuff. Has just been gained in the past 2 laps as well. Those are the only solid penalties right now. But it does mean that Angelissimo, if he stays behind them, he will finish 7th. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that riding on board, so he might try to overtake. He might be a bit grumpy staying behind. But what I can say is that if Jigglypuff and Troll are right by each other, they'll be fighting for position. As I believe that was Troll going a little bit wide. That's the same corner that cost him his 5th position to Amaze, so you might want to be a little bit more patient on the throttle for that corner. But he does have Angelissimo chasing it down, and that won't help Troll at all, considering, like I said, he and Jigglypuff will be fighting for position. So if Troll loses the position down to Angelissimo, he can't really get that back. There's not enough left to get that position back and build up enough of a gap. But Angelissimo is still is currently in DRS range. Doesn't matter though. Angelissimo pits. So does Jigglypuff.
Tyres must be worn.
This is a very testing track when it comes to tyres, so it could be that some people are just struggling a little bit more than others. So who is left to pit? I wouldn't be surprised if Sims tries to do what he did at Bahrain, which was an impressive showing of supers to mediums and did a 1-stop, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to just maybe eke these tyres out to the end. Because if Leopard pits now, he will come out behind Sims. And according to everybody's telemetry, they should have pitted 5 laps ago. Now that might be glitched. But you never know.
So, not on the grid and the clouds, as you can tell on where you picked your tyres, it actually went, I think it was 5 clouds full wets, 1 cloud intermediate. So the intermediate tyre came in pretty early compared to what it was actually showing us.
That's the interesting thing. In this game, you can actually go on the dry tyres earlier. I tried it on Sunday, and LCR didn't work, but we'll ignore that. No, it did not work. But you can go on the dry tyres slightly earlier than the game might be telling you. So
the people who actually pitted very early for
is
the intermediates will be struggling, and that's why they're
speaking of pitting and maybe
come
struggling, Amazing comes out of the pits just ahead of Mansell. Mansell probably is, Mansell's in rich right now. He saw Maze coming out and tried diving up at him, and he might be trying to take advantage of maybe the fact that he might be slightly vulnerable on the tyres, but Amaze is not really competition, to be honest. Amaze is gone. There's no quarter here. They're like, you still got to be completely on it. The car's so close that if you make a mistake, you're going to lose positions. There's no 2 ways about it. Sims is gaining on Leopard, and both of them are lean, both the same fuel, but Sims is ever so slightly gaining on Leopard, I will say that. So Sims might be looking after his tyres better than Leopard. It won't win him the race if Leopard does stay out the rest of the race, but if Leopard's struggling too much, he'll have to pit again, where Sims seems very comfortable on the tyres, because, well, the gap is staying roundabout this thing.
Scarf's in.
Scarf is in. Got 4th. Very nearly grazes the wall. But he could lose position to Amazed.
Amazed, Mansell and Trolled.
All 3 of them. The Scarf just changes, he's just pulling out of his pit box now. And Amazed, Amazed has got him to 4th, I would say. Nope, he's exiting the pits right now. He just gets him on the exit, but does that mean Mansell's probably
just ahead of Mansell?
just ahead of Mansell again. So twice, 2 laps in a row now, Mansell's just had position teased, just dangled in front of his face, just 5th position dangled in front of his face. And neither of those times was he just out of position. I can't even say it's because he's too slow. He's just barely out of position. But it kind of becomes interesting now because Scarth is just heading Mansell, who is just heading Troll. So again, as I said before, if Scarth has an issue, he's going to lose his positions and drop right down to 7th. Right down. So they've got to all be on it for the last 5
sure
laps.
if Leopard's got tyre wear.
Leopard does a fastest lap. The sun rises tomorrow.
Coming up to the back of Vander, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
he's coming up to the
Vander
back.
is currently coming into turn.
Troll is catching Mansell.
Mansell is catching Scarth. He's right behind him. A second separates 5th to 7th. I've said that twice before. But 5th is kind of where the battle is at today. A lot of even drivers. It'd be interesting to see how many different drivers have even sat in 5th position this race. Considering that, I think that's how high Scott got to before he retired, if not very close to it, because he got really high in the race. ESR Mace sets the fastest lap, 1:32.9. Currently, the driver with the slowest fastest lap, by the way, fellas, is Sims.
Must be very conservative.
Yep, if that doesn't tell you he's saving his tyres, then nothing will.
He's lost about 6 seconds, I think.
His best lap is a 1:35.0, and if he's not setting best laps now, and Leopard still is really pushing, then he is definitely just talking back, and that's it. Well, maybe that's not it, but Leopard, you might just be hoping Leopard will pit, but the more the laps go by, the more Leopard will probably just want to stick it out and decide that, yeah, I'm just going to stay with his tyres till the end. So you reckon Sims is just
Maybe.
going for anything else? Troll is
Second
looking at
all
the
the
inside
way.
of Mansell,
He's
down
lost.
on the inside, going to second 3, slightly tap each other. But he doesn't get the move done there ever so side by side. There's a slight ghost there. I'm not sure what happened there.
He's lost 7
Mansell's still ahead.
seconds in about 3 laps.
Okay.
Must have done, yeah. He had the move all well done, or at least on the inside, and then either his game froze and he had to quick pause, or just some other issue. Or the game was being biased, so Mansell was hosting. But I'm not saying anything. Angelissimo is right behind Jigglypuff. Going into the final corner. Yeah, must have done. It's kind of been. Jigglypuff is like way back in control. Like if Troll pit now, he would stay in position. That's how far the gap is. But Jigglypuff's still not alone. He's got Troll. Jigglypuff's not alone. He's got Angelissimo right behind him. I think the only person who's really running alone without anybody to try and fight is Vanstar. Because even though Scott's slightly ahead of Mansell, he's still watching that position behind him and ahead of him. Same with Maze, one position behind him. Top 3 are kind of on their own, but again, if any of them hit, those positions are going to change. Get Troll is still behind Mansell. This could go down to the final lap. Maybe not the final lap, but definitely in the 30s for a lot of these battles. Because you're going to get to the point where the driver is going to realise, right, I need to get the move done now. We saw it with Leopard at Bahrain. Troll seems to be at that stage right now because he's really trying to get to Mansell. He's got to watch his fuel though. He's only plus 0.2, which means that, yeah, he's sticking in lean through here. I say here, through the final chicane. Then he'll probably launch around the final corner and flick up to Rich. Yeah, that's slightly bit closer. Nope, he stays in lean, but he, at the very least, he knows he's still with Mansell. He's up to standard. It's Angelissimo versus Jigglypuff, Troll versus Mansell. Anything ahead of that, I don't want to say it's full conclusion, but it's basically a test to see who does not bottle it.
Seems almost 20 seconds longer.
Sims has massively dropped off. I wonder if maybe it was the other way around. well, we'll obviously have the podium interview checked, but maybe Sims pushed hard. But I know Sims is a kind
Jordan's
of
caught him up by 3 seconds, lap and a half.
Jordan is catching, so I wonder what's happening.
Probably not enough, but...
He's got plenty of fuel.
Probably won't be enough. Angelissimo, Jigglypuff just barely went on the grass in turn 4. Angelissimo is right behind him. He might even try and turn. Nope. Angelissimo, I reckon, is probably just kind of conserving himself just enough so that on the final lap he can give it a charge. Because he is right on the back. Right behind him. He's not even thinking of the overtake. He's just sticking behind him in lead. He's staying right behind him. But Jigglypuff decides to go up the inside. That gives Angelissimo the opportunity to do a switchback. He's up by the side of him. Very brave. Not do a switchback move. He decided, no, actually I might just keep this position a little bit longer. This is for the sake of 2 points, by the way. Angelissimo currently running with 2 points. Jigglypuff in 8th will be 4 points. So just 2 extra points in for it. But these guys' races, doesn't matter what points it is, and still, it's more points, so one's going to want to be ahead of the other. That's just kind of how it's going to be. At the end, somebody's got to finish ahead of the other.
Yeah, Jigglypuff's best result was an 8th, that was around Bahrain.
Could be equaling it, or he could be losing it to Angelissimo, who's still looking up into turn 3. But Jigglypuff is kind of all over the place, and Angelissimo is being very sensible right now. I actually mentioned that he is just driving. He's not trying anything.
I think he knows
he is just driving.
The gap is now under nearly 10 seconds between Jordan and Sims.
That's a good point. Jigglypuff does have a penalty.
Pretty sure I'll get trolled.
Anybody else?
3 laps
Get
remain.
Trolled has a second penalty as well. It won't be enough for him to lose the position, I believe. But it does mean that it doesn't matter if he gets past Mansell. So that's kind of taking the wind out of these battles. But at the very least, from the looks of things, Troll at least wants to get past Mansell, who's kind of struggling through the chicane. Mansell actually slides and goes into the pits. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but Get Trolled does get the position. And just as I was saying that, he won't stay ahead of Mansell at the end of it. I'm eating my own words right now because Troll is up to 6th, unopposed.
Jigglypuff will go through. So will Angela. He's gone soft.
What?
XRL Mansell must be going for the fastest lap.
Still got to spray.
Not sure if Jeff has been in his ear.
So
He likes doing that.
Bandit. Got 2 laps now to pass him.
So if Mansell struggles enough, then Vander could get an extra point to his repertoire and jump ahead of him. Current 2 laps, the battle looking right now to be Jigglypuff ahead of Angelissimo. Once again, run down as things stand. Leopard 26 seconds ahead of Sims, who is only 6 seconds ahead of Jordan. Not enough time, but that's how it stands. Amazing 4th there is a lot of lag. In fact, Angelissimo's gone off.
That wing's going after that. Lag
That
back.
wing is gone. That means that he could be. Oh, Van der Stuck has gone ahead of Mansell. Mansell is struggling enough. He's got to be careful not to lose it completely.
Vander's going to pick up 2 places here.
I reckon Angelissimo is going to get only 1 lap to go. 1 lap to
Oh, by Apex.
Could get 8
I'll
here.
take over quickly.
Why are you pitting Angelissimo? Oh, that's close. Means Anderson that's going to take 8.
With Jordan Gibbs catching up very, very quickly. Only 4.5 seconds behind now. With Amazed, stronger performance.
Could get game
in
right.
his first points. getting its
Really
first
good drive of the
points
day.
of the season. We're scarfed with 5th place. Ford is 6th, Jiggly is 7th. Vanda has now passed Angelino for 8th as Angelino is now, he's actually pitted, he's in 9th. And XRL Mansell has now gone back in the pit lane for a nose change and put the intermediates back on. So I think that was a mistake to put the soft tyres on. As TOR
I think he realises that.
Is in sector 2 now of this last lap. Vanda has
Just was to get a cheeky
2
party
positions now
game invite.
in last lap, so that's good for him.
It's good for Vanda.
Sector 3
Maze is
yellow
gone.
flags.
Maze is
Oh,
gone.
and a Maze.
Last
Maze.
corner.
I don't know what's happened there.
Is a Maze gone? Is he out of the race? This happened.
Maze is weird. It's off.
He lost last corner.
Is it what? How's his car? Is it still going?
Right front.
It's
is
gone.
off.
His wheels off. So Scar
So-
now picked up 4th. As TOR
So amazed once again.
Binned it.
Struggling.
Unlucky
It,
on the final lap.
can
very
divine
unlucky.
intervention. Whose serial did he pit?
So, as TOR Leopard
Good
takes the
job, Leopard.
chicane. And he
Very
will
dominant
take,
from
I
Leopard,
believe,
actually.
his 3rd TOR win of the season.
Very impressive.
Australia, I think Russia, and now Spain. With his teammate.
Does that make him the first driver to win 2 races in a row?
Yes.
That will indeed. Wow.
Yeah.
Leopard likes
Jordan
breaking his
Gibbs,
last record.
2
There we go.
seconds. Unbelievable scenes here. 1.8 now behind Sims as they go through the chicane. One more lap, Jordan Gibbs, and I think you would have had him. 1.5 now as Sims crosses the
Think of
line
it like
in
this, though.
second with Jordan.
One more lap.
third.
Sims would have prepared for it, and he probably wouldn't have had it. So Sim
Yep.
basically just did exactly what he needed to. He didn't really
Scarf
do
now.
anything more, didn't
30
do anything less. So he
seconds
brought
down
it
the
home
road.
he wanted to, which is sensible.
Now this is going to be Scarf's, including the league, what may not be named, but the Europe side of it. This will be Scarf's best performance, best finish he's ever had racing with us. So,
Fair play.
Angelino has left this session. Oh yeah, but he got lapped anyway, so he finishes. So that is everybody via Jigglypuff. Get Troll gets 5th. Vanda, Angelino, and XOL Mansell cross the line, but they've been lapped, so they've all finished. We're waiting for 6th place Jiggly to come through the line now. As he crosses the line to end the race for TOR Split 1 around the Spanish Grand Prix.
Gibbs, how was that race? There was a lot of shenanigans going on. 3rd place wasn't exactly guaranteed for you throughout the race, but pieces fell into place. How did it feel? How did it feel finishing 3rd place in that kind of pretty much complete storm of a race?
Yeah, it was a crazy race. Yeah, I'm happy with it. That's my 2nd podium in a row now, so I'm more than happy with that. I'm annoyed I couldn't catch Sims at the end. I don't normally like rain, but I actually done quite well in it. The start was pretty bad. I think I dropped about 3 places, and then I just seemed to be really quick as soon as I got on the inters, and pulled away from Scarth and DSR, and started catching Sims one more lap, and I would have had him.
Good job, man. It was a good, mature, sensible race from you. We can see you kind of trying to push towards catching Sims towards the end, especially since, you know, he was right there. I believe the gap was like only around about 2nd of the line, but
yeah, 1.4.
at the very least, I mean, at the very least, it's a podium you can be proud of. Taking home points. You're unfortunately the only point scorer for Ferrari today, so I imagine overall positive race. Not really anything to be disappointed in, so good job.
No.
Right, Sims then.
Yeah, well done, teammate.
Sims, you there?
Yeah.
Hi. How's the race on your end then? What I've been wanting to ask. Basically, your pace kind of differed a little bit throughout the race. I noticed at certain points you might have been catching slightly ahead or dropping back slightly. We weren't sure if you were maybe tire saving a little bit, being a bit conservative, because I remembered your drive back in Bahrain. You were like nice and conservative and played out for you in the end. I thought maybe you might have been conserving a tire in case Leopard had head pitted of you. But then you just kind of dropped back and back and back slowly. So I'm not sure Could you talk us through exactly what happened towards the end of the race?
Towards the end, Leopard was already like 8 seconds ahead, and so I just literally went on lean and just chilled for the rest of the race because my tyres were on like 50% with 7 laps to go or 8 laps to go, and towards the end they were on 78%. So I was just really keeping my tyres alive, pretty much, just cruising.
Fair enough. So, did you feel under threat from Jordan Gibbs at all towards the end? Because he was gaining very rapidly throughout the final couple laps, or did you feel like you had second place in the bag?
I didn't really know if I had second place, but if he was to get, if it was like 1 extra lap, I would have pushed on the last lap, even if I got a puncher or not. So,
That's right.
yeah.
He was bricking it.
Well, I mean, it was a good well, obviously. You can't say it's not. It secured a 1-2 finish once again for Force India, so very impressive. Unfortunately, the specific result means that you're currently 3 points behind in the championship now, but you're still there. So I imagine you'll remain just as competitive as you were first few races for the rest of the season. So good luck, mate, and I look forward to seeing you future races.
Thanks.
Right, Leopard, are you still drowning in champagne over there, or what's happening?
No,
There
I'm
you
here.
are.
I'm alive.
Okay, hi. You, my friend, I know you like your records. You have become the first driver to win 2 TOR races in a row. Tough race again. May have been poor off the start, but how did it feel after shaking yourself back off to the start?
In the full wet conditions, I was kind of struggling at the start a little, trying to get the confidence. And then I passed Sims at one point, nearly wiped him out, I think, so I lost the back end, so that could have ended a whole lot worse. And then I caught up to the back of a maze and couldn't get past him for a while before he made a mistake and I got past him. And I caught up to the back of Dominator and then, unfortunately, after a while he disconnected, so which ruined a potential battle for the lead, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching on board, and I remember seeing, as soon as Dominator disconnected, it kind of just took the wind out of the sails for the race mostly, because a lot of it was you building up ahead of him. Dominator was just kind of protecting himself over you. The amount of laps left to go could have been fireworks, and unfortunately I know it's like the case of a lot of things in this game, especially with how these cars handle, so it is a shame there was no battle for the absolute lead.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it's more points, another victory. As I said previously, you're now 3 points ahead of Sims, so what's next? Do you want to keep the ball rolling, or are you going to try and get as many wins as possible, or try to play it conservative and just try to play out your points win?
If I have a chance of winning a race, I'm going to go for it, obviously. Yeah, obviously next is Monaco, which...
Scariest race of the season.
It's
a race you
tricky
kind of like.
circuit. Yeah, I kind of like that circuit. I'm not going to explain
Slightly. We'll just we'll all go into time trial afterwards and cry a little bit.
Yeah. Gibbs a skill.
Gibbs can't even be bothered. He slammed the door on his way out.
Yeah. He's had enough. Yeah, obviously one mistake and that could be race over in Monaco. And also with the dirty air at Monaco as well. Or the dirty air on this game and with the new cars and everything, at Monaco it's going to be even more difficult to pass. And strategy could be crucial there as well. But yeah, regarding the rest of the season, obviously I'd love to win as many races as I can, but that's probably only going to come if I get the opportunity to and show the correct racecraft and correct strategy and correct pace. But
yeah, fair enough.
Podiums, I guess,
Right.
is the plan.
Yeah. So Yeah, just more consistency on your way through. Obviously, again, next week Monaco. Sure, certain people like that track. Certain people rather do without. But either way, it should be a bit more of a, well, maybe not a bit more, but a dangerous race. If it rains in Monaco like it did in Spain, expect fireworks. I'm not sure what the plan is regarding start time for Monaco. Pepsi, are we doing anything in regards to nighttime racing or?
No, just be normal.
No, just normal time. There we go. There's your straight
Just
answer.
normal
So, yeah, next week then normal time. You know where to get it. I'm guessing we're back at 9 o'clock. TOR Split 1 in Monaco, round 6. You don't want to miss it, considering the races we've had so far. Even if it was a wet race today where the lead was decided by disconnection, it was nuts. Whole way around, all up and down the field, it was crazy. Next race, considering it's Monaco, you don't want to miss it. Seriously, it's going to be absolutely electric. 3 points in it for the lead of the championship. Next round is going to be absolutely nuts. So, anybody got anything else to add, or we done here?
Everything's covered.
The game hates me.
Wonderful.
Cheers, boys.
We'll get back on it.
Thank
All right,
you,
awesome.
viewers, for watching in.
Farewell.